Hey there folks, my name is Kurn. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel in the first place. I am going to continue my game of Roottree Mania, which is the sort of unlocked second game after you solve the root trees are dead, which I did do. So, I am armed with my handy dandy notebook and brain that is done with work for the week. My brain may not be super active right now because work is work, right? Okay, so we will continue with I can't even speak. We will continue with Roottree Mania. You can see I have 0 locked in, which is upsetting. But we're gonna try to lock a couple in. I'm missing Joanna's last name and like a whole other person, I believe. All right. So, first of all, Guy Hudson, what a jerk. But that'll be locked in. We don't know Joanna's last name. We do know that she was married to Riley Fellows. That Felix Fellows, known as 5Ps, 5Ps, is the result of this affair, which is wild. Yeah, I don't have anyone else on the friggin' tree. Like, there's another, like, I swear to God that this is going to be the Anonymom and Jane Doe Roottree, but they keep saying that that's not the case. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, it looks like he was quite prolific. He had like 5 separate affairs that we know of. These people who are also on the family tree. This is a family tree update. So this is not an affair, but this is an update from last year. And then the other infidelities occurred in the past. I'm pretty sure that the first one is going to be Elias Roottree. But I don't think I know for sure. And I don't know who he would have had an affair with. This person, 1949, indicates that they're already in the tree. And holy crap, what happened here? Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna worry about all of that later. I don't remember what I was looking at last time. Okay, I want to find the actual copy of Piketty magazine, which I'm sure we can find somewhere. Oh no, that's the library. We already did that here. Wow. Yeah. An instant collector's item. Does eBay exist? Piketty magazine. Tabloid-esque articles. Grocery stores near the checkout line. Unlike traditional tabloids, it doesn't typically feature celebrities. Beanie Babies, Magic Eye images, even Red Bull. All the hearsay that's fit to print. At one point, Piketty ran an article about Cicely Sanchez, an author. She claims to have written an unread book about Guy Hudson. The article was not even the main focus of the issue, yet the magazine was threatened legally by the Roottree Corporation. That particular issue, the Big Sass Sea Bass issue, was pulled from shelves. It has now become a collector's item, especially amongst conspiracy theorists attempting to figure out what the Roottree company was hiding. You find a recently finished online auction that listed a copy at over $1,000, though no one bid. Big Sass Sea Bass is a talking fish that sits on a fake mount on your wall. When you press the button and speak into it, it mimics your voice and then insults you. Many people consider it a ripoff of a more popular wall-mounted communication-based fish decoration. But the packaging makes it clear that this one does not sing. Instead, what the advertisements say said Big Sass Sea Bass, apart from its competitors, is, quote, a sardonic and sarcastic wit that will leave you reeling with laughter. It's oceans of fun for the whole family. You'll be hooked on this big sassy bass, unquote. The words reeling, oceans, and hooked are conveniently bolded to ensure you recognize how clever the copywriter was. Recently, it appeared on the cover of Piketty magazine in the same issue that a Roottree related issue appeared. That issue was removed from stores after the Roottree sued the magazine. The issue has become a collector's item and ripe for conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories about the Roottrees. This is not going to turn anything up. How about just conspiracy theories? During your initial search, you came across, Thomas Overwood's conspiracy page about the Roottrees. 8 months later, the page still exists and is thriving. The visitor counter. Oh, thumbs up if you remember counters on web pages. Oh, crap. The visitor counter has reached 7 digits. Many older articles have been replaced. It seems that the recent uprising in Roottree news has left Thomas Overwood with a constant stream of events to base new theories on. More than one of his theories involve Roottree deaths being faked. Ooh. According to Overwood, statistically, when you have this many high-profile people who have died in a family, the odds are that one of them faked their death. It's just math. I don't know that I agree with that, but I am intrigued. This newfound focus on death faking seems to coincide with a post mentioning that he's begun believing the guy's not dead theory. In his own words, my eyes have been opened. All of this is beginning to make too much sense. One of his posts details the belief that Ron Roottree is still in charge. Gwyn Roottree's death was faked, and that Clark is only there to throw people off. Apparently, this allowed Ron to travel to France to develop their new candy recipe in secret. Another is about the rapper 5Ps. Can't possibly be a Roottree. One of his first album songs, when he's performing under the devil name, actually mentioned that he wanted to have sex with Raina. Ew. Ew. Not even Sam Madsen is spared. According to Overwood, the author of 6 Pieces isn't real. Sam Madsen isn't... It's an anagram for Am Madness. Is it really? Yeah, I guess so. They're purposely leaving hints for us. He claims that by using 6 Pieces with Lauren Roottree's book as a one-time pad, he has begun to decrypt a cipher. Most of the cipher has seemed meaningless, but he managed to pick up the words people and vastness. He's working on figuring out what it means. There's also a request at the bottom. Next year, 2000 is a leap year. No. Yes, yes. Maybe. Hang on. And Overwood is looking for funds and volunteers to catch the Roottrees red-handed in Operation RT-29. He specifically mentions not to volunteer if you've ever drunk Spirit Cola, but doesn't go into why. The reason I'm unsure about 2000 is that there's a rule. I think it was a leap year, but only because it's like divisible by like 400 or something. Hang on. I'm gonna Google this right quick. Was 2000 a leap year? Yes, but 1900 was not. 2100 will not be. Got it. Okay. Okay, so this... Let's try looking up Thomas Overwood. Oh, okay. So let's look up Guy's Not Dead. Ah. The Guy's Not Dead conspiracy stems from a website that focuses on clues that the Roottrees have supposedly hid all over the place. This includes on candy wrappers, print advertisements, television commercials, jingles, etc. The story, according to the website, is that Guy Hudson was a terrible president of the Roottree company and introduced multiple failed products. Something needed to be done that would put the company immediately and instantly back in the favor of consumers. So they killed off Guy Hudson and replaced him with a new president. This move immediately garnered sympathy, and the company recovered the next year, more popular than ever. The next president stayed much further out of the limelight. I think that's Ernie, no? And some people even theorized that he was simply Guy Hudson in an elaborate disguise, which is why he stopped appearing in public. The people who run the site are asking for help. They're certain that there's a clue to all of this that accidentally leaked in a banned article from the magazine Piketty. On their page is a scan of the magazine's cover, the interview with Cicely Sanchez about Guy Hudson, and some photos. Yes! You add them to your evidence. Okay, before we do that, he was the third president. Yeah, Ernie was the fourth. So no, there's nothing true about that. It doesn't mean he's not still alive. He could be still alive. But it seems unlikely. Meanwhile, 5 Ps. Where's this guy? If Guy is over here and he has a kid. Hang on, I'm doing math. First, second, third. It would be you. Raina would be his third cousin. Just so you know. That's gross. I mean, not that he knew that they were cousins, and I guess she's fairly attractive, but like, yeah. Like, I know, like, my nephews have third cousins that we're close to. They're my second cousins once removed, so like, ew. The family thing is very close to me. Okay. This is an interview with Cicely Sanchez, an author. She was hired to write a book about Guy Hudson. You claim to have been paid a significant amount to write a book about one of the Roottrees, Guy Hudson. He was president for a short period at the end of the 70s, right? Yeah, I met him on New Year's Eve, actually, the last night of 1978. Guy liked to throw big parties. I was just coming off of Changed Man. Oh, is my pen dying again? Oh, for the love of Pete. New pen. Oh, it's a different color. I don't like that. That's okay. It works. It's fine. Changed Man. And that's Cicely Sanchez. And looking for my next project. When his wife learned who I was, she invited me to the party, and they cornered me to talk about a book. That was the first time anyone recognized me from my work. I had finally made it. The book they asked me to write sounded great, but then none of the stuff that made him interesting was allowed to stay. Chop, chop, snip, snip, anything with even the slightest threat to Guy's image ended up gonzo. That's not how I would spell gonzo, but that's okay. What was the stuff that made him interesting? At his core, Guy was not complicated. In fact, I think I could boil him down to 2 traits. First, he wanted to be seen as the second coming of the great Elias Roottree, and second, he'd never be satisfied living the life needed to be seen that way. He had his fortune and good looks, and he really liked to exploit that to pick up women, but he couldn't let anyone else know, so it cost him a lot to cover it up. That was the only interesting aspect of Guy. He was James Bond trying to convince people he was Mr. Rogers, I guess. Mr. Rogers? Really? Maybe that's not the best metaphor, but Elias Roottree was boring as all hell, and, quote, all about family. Guy did everything he could to be seen that way. After I submitted my first draft, he sent me this garbage book, The Roottree Legacy. The Roottree Legacy, with Elias on the cover. Last time he and I met, he had even switched out his orange suits for the same green ones Elias wore. Remember fancy flavors? Guy knew that part of Elias's legacy was the 5-piece flavors, so that's what Guy tried to do too. Caviar was a disaster here. but it was actually somewhat popular in Brazil for whatever reason. In Christmas 1979, he went to Brazil to open the Roottree Brazil factory. Roottree Brazil factory. Guy was always hopping around the world trying to recreate that success. Ooh, you know what that says to me? That says many girlfriends in many places. So how come the book never came out? It's complicated. I had an out in my contract. Surprisingly, Guy signed the contract my lawyers wrote without running it by anybody in his legal department. I could pull my name off the book at any time, but Guy still got the content. After I left, it probably got a lot harder to convince any real publisher to give it their time. He was the president, right? Do you know why he never released it himself? If I had to guess, his family very wisely put a stop to it. Mid-1981, months after I had already moved on, he called me back and showed me a final draft. Do you know how expensive it is to publish one copy of a book? It had my name on it in big, shiny, embossed letters. Like all problems in his life, throwing money at me was his attempt to winning me back. But it had half the page count, and the narrative was torn to bits. No thanks. The dinner was good, imported steak that likely cost as much as a month of my mortgage, and we all got pretty drunk. He sent his mistress, Susie, something. And that's like summer 81. Summer 81. Into the bathroom to proposition me. What? Poor girl. I remembered her from our trips overseas. She was too good for him. Anyway, he died soon after, and that was the last it ever came up. What can you tell us about the family? Any insight into the scandals from the recent book by Sam Madsen? I actually haven't read it. I just skimmed the sections on Guy to see why people were suddenly calling me up to ask about the man. I'd say she did well for what she had to work with. She only had rumors, whereas I spent time tailing him. Sometimes he knew, sometimes he didn't. He invited me to join them when dealing with Roottree Brazil, but I actually had people on him when he went to Australia, France, and China too. Oh boy. Australia, France, China. When he met with someone, I'd figured out who they were and how they were involved. Doubly so if the meeting happened when he didn't want me to be around. Despite his best efforts, I got the whole truth, including things even his family never knew. For example, the daughter of his business partner in Australia, I think her name was Robin. Oh boy, he and she spent a few nights together. That he didn't want his family to know about, but I did. Madsen got things wrong. Sam mentions Guy's affairs and treats them like most people would logically think to treat them, like the infidelity was a problem for Patricia. When his wife first approached me, though, it wasn't to talk, if you get my meaning. Ooh. On paper and in public, it was a marriage like any other, but in reality, it was more of a mutually beneficial arrangement. They both got what they wanted out of it. The same thing. I'm assuming... What was that? I'm assuming I only have to spell it out so you can get it in writing for your readers. Women. Patricia enjoyed the company of women, and the swinger scene made that more accessible. I told her I wasn't interested in her and Guy. I found out later that if I had said yes, her next question would have been whether or not her husband actually had to be there too. Yowza! Guy, on the other hand, was seen in a traditional marriage, and at the same time could bed any women that found him charming. I can assure you that was exactly the type of marriage he was interested in. Woo! What a story. This photo is the first from a magazine interview with Cicely Sanchez and Piketty. The issue of Piketty magazine, blah, blah, blah. Piketty does not label its individual photos. Both photos were instead under the shared label. Cicely was provided these photos by the Roottree company for her book. Okay, so this is the Christmas thing. I don't know who that is, but I'm clicking it just in case. Christmas. Oh, first page. New Year's Eve. Okay. This photo, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So this is Zach, and that's Guy, and I don't know who that is. There's Elias. Oh boy. Okay. Where's Zach? Zach's over here. So Zach's his uncle. So one from him to Ernie. Where's Ernie? Ernie. And then Carl. And then Clark. And potentially Ron. Okay. That's interesting. We still don't know her last name. No. The Roottree Legacy. Bess Williams. Recently republished. It did not work. Bess Williams. Really? Okay. It's the older one. Oh. Well, that's interesting. Should it not there be in the library? I guess not. Okay, we're gonna look up Roottree Brazil. Sometimes erroneously referred to as Brazil, is one of the companies created to manufacture. It was developed as part of the Roottree Everywhere initiative near the beginning of 1979. So that's under Guy's rule. Unlike some of the other Roottree Everywhere results, Roottree Brazil seems to be a success. You do some rough translating and find a significant amount of information about it. Okay. Brazil was a hit. Caviar 5-piece was good. Five pieces bag with Portuguese writing. A small town named Alvilagos near the municipality of Sao Bernardo do Campo became the location chosen by the Roottree Candy Company after a newly elected local politician named Edson Soares heard that they were planning a new factory and petitioned them in early 1979. Alvilagos near Sao Bernardo do Campo. And Edson, what a name. Suarez, I would presume. And that's 1979. The factory was controversial as locals did not want it there. The Rootrees visited Brazil around Christmas. Christmas. I'm writing that down in caps. Christmas. It managed to break ground on the project. Since then, however, it has been operating relatively smoothly, except for two incidents. The first was Incendio do Bordo, so a fire, in 1982, and the second was an unsuccessful strike in 95 that involved all of the factory workers being replaced. The factory was originally built and run, according to paperwork at the time, by a small company called Nova Corporação do Doces Brazil, which literally translates to New Brazil Candy Corporation. This company no longer exists, not much excuse me, not much information has ever existed about it, and the Roottrees now run Roottree Brazil entirely. Okay, so we gotta look up Incendio do Bordo. That's interesting. That happened in 1982. And a strike. 1995. And we'll Google Nova Corporação, I guess. De Doces. Brazil. Don't speak Portuguese. Don't kill me. Okay. Incendio do Bordo. Incendio do Bordo translates to maple fire. In 1982, the factory was deliberately attacked in a case of clear arson. Arson. The fire was brought under control after destroying about 2/3 of the production floor, and locals claimed that the air smelled like a mix of burning plastic and maple syrup. Ew. The factory was rebuilt and continues production to this day. At the time, it was unknown why this happened, but last year, a news special did list this incident, as well as a few others in the small town, as backlash to perceived corruption in the government at the time. According to the report, the mayor of the city was found to be receiving a cut of the factory's profits. What was that guy's name? This guy. Search. Edson Soares was a Brazilian politician. You find a dissertation published by a college student as part of their PhD in history. It focuses on the rise of democracy in Brazil. It seems up until 1988, Brazil was run by the military, and the politics during that time were often a hotbed for corruption and nepotism. The paper tells of a few politicians at the time, including Edson Soares. Edson is a former mayor of Alvalagos, Brazil. Before politics, he was a manager at an automotive manufacturing plant for a major American car company. He was put in charge of Alvalagos by the military government in 1973. As mayor, he used his manufacturing background and knowledge of American business to establish new factories, distribution plants, and other business ventures in the area. This had two side effects. First, he became quite rich. Second, many locals were forcibly relocated. This did not make him a popular mayor. In what the paper speculates was a move to counteract this unpopularity, his wife Sonia was discreetly put in charge of a television station called Telerede. He often used this connection to ensure supporters would appear on local television, spouting his beliefs and emphasizing his political victories. He remained in office until 1988, when he was defeated in the first election after the military government was no longer in control. After this election loss, he quickly left the town behind. It is not known where he has gone, but the dissertation even speculates he likely fled to stay alive. Okay, so he's married to Sonia. How much do you want to bet that that's Sonia? And that's Edson. And what year was this? $1979. Okay. I am feeling confident enough. Oh, I don't know her actual friggin' name. Sonia. She was like, what was she? Television station. I guess media mogul. I'm like pretty sure that this is them. Edson Soares. I'm just missing these stupid last names. And of course, I have no idea who these kids are. But I'm like sure that that's them. Sao Bernardo do Campo is a real place in Brazil. A game designer by the name of Jeremy Johnston looked up cities in Brazil that had a lot of manufacturing so he could place a fictional factory there. He did not want to offend any Brazilians with the tale he was writing that involved corruption and politics, so the small town name he made up, Alva Lagos, where the factory was located, was invented by mixing two other regions, Interlagos and Alvarenga. Nice. Well played, Jeremy Johnston. That's pretty good. Let's look up Sonia. Oh. Flavio, who is a news anchor. Ha 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 ha. Sonia Flavio Suarez, news anchor. Flavio Suarez is a young Brazilian newscaster with a bit of a cult following. The discourse surrounding him is, to put in polite terms, lewd. Oh no. There's a website about something called fan fiction that has a small section dedicated to him. Oh dear. It seems that women and some men of a wide variety of ages and writing skill tend to find him worthy of inclusion in their stories. You skim some of the tales there and learn that a common thread is that he's currently dating a supermodel named Ashley York. Many stories either seem to ignore her existence or get her out of the picture rather quickly. There are also more traditional fan sites that list some things about him, including his age, 18, his zodiac sign Libra, his favorite food, grilled steak, and his mother's name Sonia. Also, it seems that Flavio translates to golden-haired. One website with a signed publicity photo of Flavio seems to confirm this. The photo's been added to your evidence. Okay, we have a lot going on here. So he's 18, and he's a Libra. If I'm not mistaken, Libra is like mid-September to October. Libra dates. I'm a Taurus, so I don't know Libra very well. Yeah, September 20. So that's September 23rd to October 22nd. And I write that down because we've got this dude's age. It's currently August, so he'll be 19. And if his mom was fooling around with someone at Christmas of 1979, then that was about 20 years ago. At Christmas of 79. And then you're born. Yeah, the timing lines up. Let's take a look at Flavio. Well, hot damned if he is not the spitting image of his father, Guy Hudson. And yes, I'm fairly sure it's Guy Hudson. So we'll put Flavio. Did I take his picture? I didn't take his picture. Boy, does he ever look like his dad. Look at that. So that's Flavio Suarez. Flavio, and he's a news anchor. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3 full ones that I'm certain of. I need a fourth. I wish I had Sonia's last name or Joanna's last name. What was the bit about him and his girlfriend, Ashley York? Ashley York is a British supermodel who does ads for perfume, clothing, and jewelry. She's been subject to some controversy in the past few months, having been protested by PETA for wearing a fur on the cover of some magazines. She's dating a young Brazilian news anchor named Flavio Soares, which has brought them both somewhat into the limelight. Okay. Meanwhile, Edson Soares is like missing, right? I looked him up. Yeah. Let's look up Telluride. Telluride is a former TV station in Brazil. It came into being in 1970 after a vacuum was created due to the removal of a different network at the hands of the Brazilian military dictatorship. Due to a lack of resources online, you don't have much to go on about who ran it and when. Okay. Is that even how you spell the thing? Alba Lagos, yeah. No. Oh, right. I wanted to listen to his music. 5 Ps. Root of All Evil is 5 Ps' debut album. Mostly material he recorded for his mixtapes before he became notable, but re-recorded with lyrical differences in professional production. All Your Problems was the first and only single released. Oh boy. After dropping the single, 5 Ps announced he'd retained the infamous celebrity lawyer Stevie Whitlock to sue his family. To date, it doesn't seem like he's followed through. At first, the single didn't make much of a splash, but Whitlock, known for publicity stunts, paid thousands of teenagers a few dollars an hour to call and request the video on MTV, which increased its profile. MTV eventually caught on and banned the video altogether, which in turn received national news coverage, made the song even more popular. All Your Problems. This track is the only new song on the album. The subject matter of the song is the hypocrisy of those that claim money is evil. He points out that the only people who think money is evil are those that have it. Those that, quote, can afford not to be greedy. In the song, 5 Ps triumphantly talks about taking the Roottree's wealth due to it being his birthright and giving it to those who need it most. You find a copy of the song on a suspicious-looking website. Download it for your records. I'm surprised they didn't say Napster or something. LimeWire. Thumbs up if you remember Napster or LimeWire fondly. This is the only single from 5 Ps' album, Root of All Evil. It received some airplay. Still, it's kind of catchy. Attention, Roottree. This is 5 Ps coming at you. Oh, God. The real world, you know, the place you ain't never lived in. You say money is the root of all your problems. Root of all your problems. Hypocrites in the back of your massive estates, built from the cash that your ancestors gave you, acting like you somehow deserve it based on your family's creations. But looky here, Sonny, don't you come for our money or you might burn bright in hellfire someday. Like that Madison chick and her 2 dads, my pappy's clans and trust should keep you away. Yo, it's disturbing catching a sermon from a geezer who's never known hurt but blurts out these claims that somehow we're sinners because we didn't earn it when all of your worth it came free with your name. Expect me to treat your lectures on greed as some expert creed from he without blame. How about instead I turn my other cheeks and spread them? When you give me a kiss, you know just where to aim. You say money is the root of all your problems. Let me take those problems away. Oh my God. Okay, we gotta listen to this.
hypocrites, sitting back in your massive estates, built from the cash that your ancestors gave you, acting like you somehow deserve it, based on your family's creations. But looky here, sonny, don't you come for our money, or you might burn bright in hellfire someday, like that Madsen chick and her two dads. My pappy's cleansing trust should keep you away. Yo, it's disturbing, catching a sermon from a geezer who's never known hurt, but blurts out these claims that somehow we're sinners cause we didn't earn it, when all of your worth it came free with your name. You expect me to treat your lectures on greed as some expert creed from he without blame. How about instead I turn my other cheeks and spread them? When you give me a kiss, you'll know just where to aim.
You say money is a root of all your problems. Let me take those problems away.
Whoever calls dollars the root of all evil, just trying to make small pursuits of real people. You silver spoon feeds you the world's purest treacle, while real world folks burning spoons for the needle. So once more with passion, tell this poor tragic orphan how your mansions and Porsches are actually horrible. How I'm better off penniless, grasping for morsels. How wanting my share, that's actually extortion. With your candy ass name, synonymous with sweets. Oh, you wanna call me classless? I'm gangster from Portland, but I play that game. I came up on the streets, the only streets you reppin' are Park Place and Boardwalk. Hypocrisy, monopoly is toppling. When I knock, have G's top off my pockets, please. Cause the same God that got to steal my mom from me is what he wants, right? For you to live in poverty, and if you're suddenly not eager to unhand that fortune, that's unfortunate. I guess I'm gonna have to take my portion, and I'll do it all legally. Class action, courtrooms, decorum. I'm way past your fancy ass dormant.
You say money is a root of all your problems. Let me take those problems away.
Bring the choir in.
You say money is a root of all your problems. Let me take those problems away. You say money is a root of all your problems. Let me take those problems away.
Whoever calls dollars the root of all evil, just trying to make small pursuits of real people. You silver spoon feeds you the world's purest treacle, while real world folks burning spoons for the needle. Whoever calls dollars the root of all evil, just trying to make small pursuits of real people. You silver spoon feeds you the world's purest treacle, while real world folks burning spoons for the needle.
Wow. Okay. Fascinating. Okay. Okay, yeah. So he's from Portland, which I think we knew. But maybe if we do something with news in Portland, we can figure out something about his mom's name. What about Miracle? Seems Miracle Sr. is going on a new tour of the United States in late 1999. Be part of the history. The oldest living Roottree reprises and retells this incredible true story. Blah, blah. He's now in his 70s. Yeah. Okay. It seems like they have like a real issue. Miracle and 5Ps. Wow, okay. Oh, it's a defunct magazine. That explains that. Oh, okay. 5Ps is popular and attractive enough that even though his music is not targeted towards teen girls, they seem to be paying attention anyways. While he hasn't done any interviews with the magazine, they've listed him among the hunky hotties. His real name is David. His birthday is February 9th, 1977. He grew up in foster care in Portland. Letter to the editor also claims it's not possible he's born in 1977, as he claimed on a song called 17 Magazine. 17 Magazine. That he turned 17 in 1992. The editor responds with a statement that they've reached out to his agent to ask about the song and were told it wasn't performed by 5Ps. They shouldn't print rumors. Yeah, because he'd be 15 then. But if he was born in 75, then he would be 17. Okay, so I guess his name is David. "17 Magazines" is the title of an unreleased and controversial song by Dirty Davy. There's mentions of it on a few sites, claiming that it was on the first release of his first mixtape, but was removed. There's no audio or visual evidence of it existing, but there are independent accounts from people who have claimed to have heard it, and they do generally line up. According to their recollection, it was about many different loosely connected occurrences of the number 17, mostly violent. The intro states it was written on Davy's 17th birthday and involved a fictional but glorified series of murders at a fashion show for a teenage magazine with a similar name to the song title. The person doing the violence was apparently trying to beat Dahmer's high score. Wow. Due to major acts of gun violence in the schools earlier this year. Oh, wow. Yeah, Columbine. And the subsequent backlash against violent music in video games, it is generally considered in very poor taste to bring it up. Most of the people that enjoy mentioning it online are either trolls trying to shock people or come from the morbidly curious corners of the internet. Wow, that's right. If this is 1999, Columbine just happened like 4 months ago. Not even. Sorry, I'm like sitting here thinking about the States and how there are school shootings that are so common every single day, and how that was like the big one that sort of started it all. That's messed up. Okay, gotta focus. Okay, so Davy's 17th birthday, but what? Okay, so what if I look up Dirty Davy? Was there David Fellows? Okay. Oh, interesting. Dirty Devil and Dirt Poor. Okay, let's look this stuff up. Dirty Devil was 5P's first mixtape from the early 90s. There's discrepancies and debates about what year exactly it was released, based on some of the pop culture references, with the range thought to be somewhere between 1992 and 1994. One of the songs, Yes, I Can Jump. Yes, I Can Jump. When did White Men Can't Jump come out? White Men Can't Jump. That was a movie, right? Yeah. 1992. Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes. I don't think I ever watched it, but I remember the title. Oh, that's funny. Some fan sites claim that there are multiple versions with different track lists and song lengths. Wow. Great. Okay. So let's try Yes, I Can Jump. Yes, I Can Jump is a song that was on 5 Pieces' mixtape Dirty Devil. It seems to be the only song that didn't make it onto his studio album that people thought should have. In it, he references a popular movie from 1992 called White Men Can't Jump. This reference has caused some confusion amongst the fan base. Because of it, it is agreed upon that the mixtape had to come out at 1992 at the earliest, but others point out that Fellows references seeing the movie on his 17th birthday. This would have been 1994, not if he was born in 75. Some take this to mean that the album had to have been released in 1994 at the earliest. Others claim that he was likely just trying to make himself sound older, since in response to some of the more questionable lyrics, he has stated multiple times that he was just a dumb kid when it was released. No, he was born in 75. Let's be very clear on that. Okay, let's try Dirt Poor. Dirt Poor was a mixtape. One of the songs, Felix Fellows, includes someone that would be revealed to be his own distant cousin. It's not that distant. A list of attractive women. Lyrics to one of the songs, Heat, mentions a few different prominent female actresses, models, and musicians from the 90s, and provides a crude pun or line about what Fellows felt about them. When re-released in 1999, much of the rhetoric was toned down to be less overtly profane, and the line referencing Raina was clumsily replaced by Dana, a reference to the character from the X-Files. Thumbs up if you liked Dana Scully. Special Agent Dana Scully MD. Which is awesome. Wow, I really hate this music. Thank you. The saxophone was just a little bit much. Okay. Roottree Mania. Right, yeah. No, that's defunct. Okay. What book? Oh, okay. The hell? Okay, there's something going on here. There we go. Released earlier this year and details the truth about Elias Roottree as well as Sam's fathers, Edward Clancy, Roottree, and John Miller. You helped verify our story, so much of the book's core contents are familiar to you. That said, Sam had some sections on other family secrets and rumors. Much of it didn't matter to the primary purpose of the book, and some of it is new to you, may be important to your new search. Okay. Sam's books has a few different passages about her own history with the company and rumors. She ran the farm for a period starting around 1968 after the death of Elias Roottree until her daughter Gwyneth took it over in 1984. Perfect. Most of the relevant rumors coincided with the reign of Guy Hudson, who took over as president in 1978. Oh right, that's her dad. Sam was very much not a fan of Guy, and according to Six Pieces, it was an open secret within the family that Guy was very much not a fan of remaining faithful to his wife, Patricia. Many of their hires at the time were young single women, and Guy often spent a lavish amount of money on private parties. This was 20 years ago. And Sam warns that most of it is hearsay. Still, you find the relevant information. So you find the following information that may be relevant. One of Sam's farm supervisors was named Elizabeth. Elizabeth had a daughter who Sam never met, but who worked as one of Guy's secretaries. According to Elizabeth, a caterer from a local restaurant called Antonelli's met her daughter at one of Guy's parties, and they eloped quickly due to a pregnancy. Elizabeth wasn't aware that the party was for swingers. Rumor has it that her daughter showed up with Guy, and he didn't seem comfortable switching partners. Guy's main positive contribution to the company involved expanding to markets previously untapped by Roottree. Oh god, that's right, Australia, France, China. However, when he went on trips overseas, they were often for weeks at a time, and Guy was known for spending more time and money on unofficial business than meetings with distributors and manufacturers. It was said that he bribed at least one politician, Edson Suarez, to open a factory in Brazil. There's also a section where Sam speculates that Elias may have also cheated on Gwyneth. Gwyneth was always much kinder to Sam than Elias was, and was the first to invite Sam to family events. While she has no hard evidence, Sam always got the impression that Gwyneth was able to coerce Elias into allowing Sam back into the family using some kind of leverage instead of it being a natural course of events. She mentioned that Elias and Gwyneth were known to loudly argue, sometimes about another woman. Sam also says that her son Ernie once asked her, "Who's Beth?" because he overheard them yelling about someone with that name. As far as Sam knows, Elias once had a secretary named Elizabeth, a different Elizabeth than the supervisor from the farm, but she never met her. Ugh, Elias and Elizabeth. Oh god, okay. This is like way deeper than the first game. Fine. Antonelli's is an Italian restaurant, and it has been in the Butler County Times twice. The most recent time was when it closed in 1992. The owner, Rochelle Zimmer, sold the land the building was on, and at the time of the article, she was unsure if the restaurant would move to a new location or if she would retire. Many years before that, there's a puff piece from Valentine's Day 1978 that asked recently married residents of Butler County how they met. Christine Garland responded. She and her husband Steve, who was a chef at Antonelli's, met years ago when she delivered... Okay, so Christine and Steve Garland met years ago when she delivered produce from her mother's farm. Steve used to work extra hours just to be there during her deliveries. Although they grew apart when the restaurant switched suppliers, they reconnected by chance and eloped at the end of last year. At the end of 1977. Now she has a bun in the oven, and they're both working as much as they can. She's a secretary, but went back to delivering produce on the weekends, trying to save up money to move to Boston and open their own restaurant. Okay. poop. So if he's born in 75 and he's born... I wrote this down. Oh, interesting. Okay, I think that... Just putting this in its place for now. This is Christine, I think. But the weird thing is there's no partner here. But it was infidelity with him. But she didn't split up with him, as far as we know. So I do think that that's Christine. But I feel like Christine would actually be here, but that doesn't make much sense because there's not 2 kids that I know of. Okay, let's look at one more hint. Oh God, I have to look at old info again. All right, we're gonna call it there, even though I have not even unlocked a single one of the relatives. Which is super annoying. But I'll be back probably tonight. Yeah. And then, anyway, episodes will continue. Tune back in. I'm dedicated to getting, 1 out a day. So, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe if you really liked it. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like Dana Scully or, Napster or LimeWire. Comment with those so I know you got to the end of the video. All right, thanks so much, and I will catch you next time.